is, for me at least, on a rainy Wednesday afternoon, which is good. We need some rain around here. We'll see how much we get. Not quite sure why it's so dark in here. Oh, it looks like one of the bulbs has gone up there. So anyway, I apologize for my dark appearance. Today's reading is called The Inner Tapestry of Life. So let's see what all that's about. The first quote is from André Gide, who was a famous French writer, lived from roughly the middle of the 19th to the middle of the 20th century. And he says, God depends on us. It is through us that God is achieved. God depends on us. It is through us that God is achieved. So let's read on and see what Reverend Chris makes of that. But first of all, is a quote from Ernest Holmes, founder of Religious Science, Science of Mind, in Living Without Fear on page 94, who says, the reason no person has yet fully plumbed the depths of their own mind lies in the fact that their minds merge with the universal, and we can never encompass the infinite. Herein is the possibility of everlasting unfoldment, the glorious concept of eternal emergence in ever-widening circles. And Holmes believed that we continue to exist, and not only exist, but to move in ever-increasing circles, like a spiral. And Reverend Chris says, the idea of an inner life makes me think of a myriad of amazing movies that have depicted people's inner thoughts, imaginations, and minds. And then she goes on to talk about different movies. Inception, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, The Matrix. Says, I could go on and on. Each of us has a rich inner landscape that puts all of these movies, no matter how amazing, to shame. The deeper into my own mind I choose to dive, the more I discover who I am, and the more compassion and understanding I have for myself. This allows me to integrate all the aspects of myself, the loving, messy, complex, funny, serious, joyful, sad, beautiful, and ugly, that come together to complete the whole picture. Luckily for us, we are individualized expressions of an infinity. And so no matter how deep we dive into ourselves, there will always be more to explore. She says, our inner worlds are vast, ever-changing landscapes filled with untapped potential, wounds and scars, and boundless creativity. When we explore these inner realms, we unlock new levels of self-awareness and self-acceptance. This inner journey enriches our understanding of ourselves while also enhancing our ability to connect deeply with others. By embracing the full spectrum of our inner experiences, we create a more compassionate, holistic view of ourselves. This self-acceptance radiates outward, allowing us to authentically and wholly engage with the world. Each dive into our inner life brings us closer to the truth of our being, revealing the infinite layers of our existence. Yeah, I was reading recently that it's not only human beings who have these inner lives, but also some of the higher mammals have also got inner lives. And you can see this when they're dreaming. You know, you can easily see when a pet's dreaming by the fact that its eyes are closed, sometimes open and shut, they're twitching. And at one time we thought only human beings had this inner life, but now we know it's not true. It applies to all beings. I'm not too sure that, anyway, I'm not too sure that as I said, that this is solely restricted to humans. I cannot believe that it applies to all animals, at least to some extent. But you can see that if you read between the lines on what Reverend Chris is saying, she's still into that theme of looking out for ourselves. If you remember, yesterday's reading was about radical self-acceptance. And today's is also getting more and more into that idea of self-acceptance. But it's also into the idea of exploring our inner world and also to using that to evolve as people, as individuals, in a good way. And all this requires one thing. It requires that we do at least something that resembles spiritual work. And if you don't want to call it spiritual, that's fine. You could call it mindfulness, you can call it whatever you wish, but it requires us at least sometimes to step back from ourselves and just kind of allow ourselves to be. And then in that calm state, then yeah, we can start exploring things. And for whatever reason, I am losing my voice this afternoon. I may not be all that coherent, I don't know. So I'm actually going to ring off early. So what do you think about this? What do you think about this idea of exploring our inner world? The idea of an inner life makes me think of a myriad of amazing movies, etc., etc. What do you think? Do you think that our inner lives are much more amazing than these movies? Well, one thing is that when you watch a movie, you get what somebody else gives you. When you're actually working on yourself, you do have the opportunity to change yourself and to move things along. And if you don't like what you see, then you can use affirmations and so on to actually change yourself. So that's my take, such as it is this afternoon. And I've got to admit, I am not feeling 100% in this. I explore the vast landscape of my inner world, uncovering and integrating the infinite layers of my existence with delight and wonder. I explore the vast landscape of my inner world, uncovering and integrating the infinite layers of my existence with delight and wonder. So what you might want to call this is sort of directed exploration of our inner world, and not letting things just happen haphazardly, but actually controlling it and using this to actually move upwards in our beingness, if you like, in our human beingness. So that's really what I've got to say. I am going to sign off, and I just don't have any more comments on this. So if that's disappointing, I apologize. Maybe I should have read Murphy's Dogma today, and that would have kind of spread things out, but there you are. So please tune back in tomorrow. We'll see what tomorrow brings. And remember, Reverend Lisa tomorrow morning at 9:30. And until then, all I got to say is take care of yourselves. Stay dry if you're in this area. Namaste.